Welcome to today's Explainer. We're about to embark on an incredible journey through India's aquatic ecosystems. We'll look at the sheer scale of it, the massive economic power, and, oh yeah, the deeply hidden dangers lurking just beneath the surface. Let's dive right in.
3,000. That's a huge number, right? When you're just looking out over a river or walking through your local fish market, you probably only see a handful of familiar varieties. But scientifically speaking, India's waters are teeming with an absolute explosion of biodiversity. We are talking about a staggering 2,500 to 3,000 distinct species of fish calling India home. It's literally a massive underwater biological library. But how do we even begin to wrap our heads around a number that large?
Well, to make sense of this sheer volume, we group this massive diversity into 5 main types. This is based entirely on where these fish actually live and how we humans interact with them. So we've got freshwater, marine, brackish water, ornamental, and industrial fish. Breaking it down like this takes that chaotic 3,000 number and instantly turns it into a super clear map of our aquatic resources. Let's start right inland.
Now, freshwater fish, we're talking about the ones thriving in rivers, lakes, and ponds all across the country. And listen, these aren't just fish. They are the absolute backbone of rural economies. Species like rohu, katla, and mrigal, they aren't just names on a restaurant menu. They provide a vital source of daily protein for millions of us. Beyond just the dinner plate, they drive local fish farming and sustain an incredible number of rural jobs. Honestly, without these specific freshwater species, the whole rural employment landscape would look completely different. Okay, moving out into deeper waters, we hit our marine powerhouses. Think giants like tuna, sardine, and surmai, which you probably know as kingfish. These are massive drivers of international export, and they supply industries with fish oil that is just packed with highly nutritious omega-3 fatty acids. But then, contrasting that massive oceanic scale, we have brackish water fish. This is that unique, kind of in-between habitat where river water mixes with the sea, like in delta regions. This environment gives us amazing species like prawns and mullet. Because of their incredibly high quality, these are the premium exports destined for the global hotel and restaurant industry. So far, we've mostly talked about food, right? But there's a really fascinating contrast in how else we use aquatic life. Consider ornamental fish, your beautiful goldfish, or those vibrant little guppies. They fuel a massive aquarium and hobby trade that is built entirely around aesthetics and decoration. But completely out of sight are the industrial fish. Now, these are species you will likely never see in a fish tank or on a plate. Instead, they are harvested strictly for industrial uses. We're talking processed into fish meal for agricultural fertilizers, extracted from medicinal fish oils, and, get this, they're even used as hidden ingredients in the cosmetics industry. No way, right?
So when we pull back and look at the collective impact of all these 3,000 species, the bounty is honestly hard to overstate. And it directly impacts your daily life. They are nutritional powerhouses, serving up essential protein, vitamin D, and omega-3s to keep us healthy. Plus, they provide direct, life-sustaining employment to millions of fishermen and industry workers. They make a massive, measurable contribution to India's overall GDP, and perhaps most importantly, they are the key operators quietly maintaining the delicate balance of our global water ecosystems. We literally rely on them to survive on multiple fronts.
So, we've seen the wealth, the nutrition, the massive economic boom. But are all 3,000 of these species actually safe to eat? I mean, it's pretty easy to assume that just because a fish comes from the same water as your dinner, it belongs on a plate. But the reality is far more complex, and quite frankly, a whole lot darker.
Here is the stark reality. Diving into those waters is a game of extremes. On one hand, we have the everyday, highly nutritious fish we rely on. Your rohu, katla, sorme, and the beloved pomfret. These give us our protein, our B12, our omega-3s. But sharing those exact same waters, lurking in the exact same aquatic ecosystems, are highly toxic, outright deadly predators. That's right, we are shifting gears now, from the bounty to the bizarre and the highly dangerous. Just take a look at this rather unthreatening little creature. This is the pufferfish, also known globally as fugu. It contains a neurotoxin called tetrodotoxin. Now let me be absolutely clear about this. This isn't just a mild stomach bug waiting to happen. If eaten incorrectly, this toxin causes paralysis and death. Because it requires incredibly specific, highly trained preparation just to remove the poison, the pufferfish is considered completely unsafe for the general public to consume in India. It is literally a biological landmine. And the crazy thing, the danger doesn't even stop at ingestion. We're looking at an entirely different kind of threat here.
Danger by touch. You don't even have to try eating these guys to end up in the emergency room. The stonefish actually holds the title for the world's most venomous fish. It camouflages itself perfectly as a rock, and its dorsal spines are loaded with venom. Just accidentally stepping on it or brushing past it can cause excruciating damage. Then there is the lionfish, visually stunning, absolutely beautiful, but those flowing spines are highly venomous. Touching it is way more dangerous than trying to eat it.
And then we have evolutionary marvels like the boxfish or the cowfish. These creatures have developed a defense mechanism that feels like it's straight out of a sci-fi movie. When they feel threatened, they don't just rely on venomous spines. They're actually capable of releasing toxic, poisonous substances directly from their bodies into the surrounding water. They literally create their own toxic cloud. Because their very biology is steeped in this chemical defense, they are universally considered completely inedible. Don't even try it.
So we have the completely safe and the completely deadly. But what about the gray area, the conditionally safe fish? Take the eel, for example. I was genuinely amazed to learn this, but eels actually have toxic blood. The solution? Well, the toxins are neutralized by heat, meaning they are only safe when cooked properly and thoroughly. Raw eel blood is incredibly dangerous. Then there is the shark. The risk here isn't a naturally produced venom, but a chemical buildup of heavy metals over time, specifically high levels of mercury. The solution here is strict portion control. It becomes highly harmful if eaten in large, frequent amounts.
Navigating this aquatic world definitely requires some knowledge. So, here are 4 actionable steps to ensure you stay safe. Step 1, avoid unknown or weird-looking fish. Basically, if you don't recognize it, don't eat it. Step 2, rely on the expertise of local markets and seasoned fishermen who know their waters inside and out. Step 3, remember that in nature, bright colors and prominent spikes are literally warning signs. Beware of them. And finally, step 4, always cook your fish thoroughly to neutralize any of those conditionally safe threats we just talked about.
We started out today by marveling at the incredible scale of India's aquatic biodiversity, right? The jobs, the nutrition, the massive economic engines running just below the surface. But we've also seen the deadly, venomous realities that share those exact same waters. Aquatic life is an absolute treasure, but not all treasures are safe. By understanding both the bounty and the bizarre dangers, you're now empowered to make informed choices. So armed with all this knowledge, will you be careful with your next plate?